Hello everybody, welcome back. Let's have a look at, I suppose we're going to look at altcoins generally this time. But before we start, in summary, I just wanted to put out there that the market is pretty risky, although in the short term it does look pretty good, I have to say. So Bitcoin, yesterday did pull back, but managed to recover, maintained areas above 46,500, and again, as long as we're above 44,200, I'm good to go on this one. I think it looks good. Doesn't mean I'm going to be entering into new positions on this one. I still got the Bitcoin from 21,000 basically riding, but it does look okay. So what I'm going to say now is in reference to the crypto market looking good. But before we start that, just want to put it out there that obviously I still believe that we are looking down the barrel of a consolidation gun, right? And that gun's going to go off. It could go off at any minute. And that's consolidation, not just in Bitcoin. Bitcoin does look like it wants to move into the 50s at this point now. But the broader markets, the indices, stocks basically, and obviously Forex, obviously Dixie, it does look like a reversal is coming. And I've been saying that for ages. I still believe that to be the case. So huge, large positions, absolutely not on the table for me. HODL is fine. HODL is okay. When you buy extremely low, effectively at the beginning of a bull market, really, those you don't want to get shaken out of those. And again, I'm not in tons of HODLs, but some of the biggest ones I've got, I'll be showing you now, including Chainlink. But there's no point in me bringing that up. I was just having a little flick through some of these. So basically, if the markets all consolidate, I would imagine the crypto market will consolidate with it. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. And we're brewing on that bearish divergence close now for Bitcoin's weekly as well. So just bear all that in mind. And just for reference, if you've not ever watched my channel before, but most of you guys are subscribers anyway, this is going to print a new candle body high, significant one on the weekly, with a significant lower high on the money flow index. So just recognize that for what it is. That normally does print, whether it's in the short term push or the longer term push, more dramatic pullbacks. So that is definitely something to think about, because any new entry, you always have to think about what Bitcoin's doing. You always have to backdate the the times that we've looked either like this or similar to this, and what happens shortly after. And as much as it does look good, and it does look good for short term moves back up, I just need you to recognize that we all thought that this was going to be absolutely epic and incredible all the way up to the moon, and literally, it comes crashing back down. It's a different market now, but it's still driven by the technicals, saying that this is the risky kind of behavior now that could end up in tears. Right, and again, I'm thinking consolidation is all I'm talking about. I'm not talking crash. Never said the word crash. I'm talking consolidation, and that is that. So let's have a look at some of these altcoins. So these are some of my hodl bags. Let's just have a little flick through. They do look very good. This is ICP on the weekly, bouncing off a 7 simple on a weekly, getting ready for a pump signal on a weekly as well. Unbelievable stuff, really. That should be enough to take us up to 20. And I'm not saying you should go targeting $20 on something like this, but I'm just pointing it out. It's a good looking chart. Nothing wrong with this chart. We're broken out money flow, broken out of RSI momentum, broken out, and we're above the 0 point for MACD. We're above all moving averages. That does look good. This is another great setup as well for Algorand. Consolidation into a 200 exponential, a golden cross retest, and now we're trying to get above all major moving averages. This would take us back up to areas lost like 20 and potentially up to 24, and then maybe even 30, which is where these peaks were over here. Again, altcoins looking quite good. Atom, golden cross retest on a simple moving average, simple 200. Excellent. Again, breakout momentum, breakout money flow, crossing up towards the 0 point to make up areas lost like 1066, $12 and maybe more. Even XRP, which is a very sad looking chart, considering it had rallied significantly. The chart had kind of broken. This one even points to a move back up to 56 and even just be a bearish retest. If for whatever reason it breaks out from here, then you better believe 70s, 80s, 90s are going to be coming on after that. And then Ethereum, slow and steady wins the race. And like this is so Ethereum, right, to behave like this, because I remember buying Ethereum, and I've still got these Ethereums that I bought back in the beginning of the bull market. Around $160 is where I bought it. So reclaiming, rejection, retest, and buy. So we were up, we were down, we were down, we were down, we were up, we were down. I was all over the place. Talking about hodls, sometimes you just don't want to get shaken out of position, and I've never been shaken out of that position. I'm still holding all those Ethereums I bought back then. Now, I just look at this and think, well, yeah, it's slow and steady wins the race. It's not particularly powerful. It's not particularly weak. It's almost like a very small version of Bitcoin, which is likely to recover to its full glory later on within this market cycle. But so far, this is all I would consider to be one giant accumulation range, even at this point now. But this being the top of the range effectively being marked off by this area where we're kind of flapping around now, really. 2,500, 2,600. So we can wick above there, and then we can come back down. It's all fine to see that. But one thing I wanted to show is that obviously altcoins point to further upside in the short term, and I'm trying to make sure that you're all more than aware of the risk that is involved in this. Now, if Bitcoin moves up or if it moves down, we do have a dominance chart here with a resistance on it that can bring us down, and we measured this yesterday. It's about a 4% move down if we were to see that. Now, that could be decent for altcoins. You could actually see like small blow-off tops that mark the end of this particular part of the bull market, and before the consolidation. That's absolutely how these things normally work as well, by the way. So we get altcoins normally mark a peak in the crypto market, whether Bitcoin trends with it or altcoins trend slightly after it. And this isn't going to be an enormous alt season, but if we're going to get one, it would be marked by a resistance, and there is a resistance here, and this is the similar kind of behavior that we had over here. So bang, 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 we might get rejection down to around 41%. 41.5% dominance. There is opportunity in this market, but the risk is higher than usual because all of the other things in the broader markets point to reversal. And I don't know if Bitcoin and crypto is strong enough to move counter to the stock market. And again, at the moment, they're not running counter to the stock market. They're running together. Everybody's going up together. But signs of overheated markets presented quite dramatically on this money flow index, and you would never want to buy anything, no matter what it is or how bullish it is. When you see a money flow index this high on a weekly, it just says a pullback, even if it's just a small one, is going to come. We always have it. It's very, very common. It's just and this is why I'm reiterating the risk. There is opportunity here. It's not about being right or wrong. It's about making money, preserving capital, avoiding losses. That's what trading is about, right? So just because something can go up doesn't mean that you should enter into it. You've got to work out the risk to reward. And for me, like I've been saying this whole time, really, the risk outweighs the reward at this particular point in time. It doesn't mean that they can't go up. We can see that. And like I say, I reckon, based on the crypto market and looking at the charts, looking at the potential rejection on the dominance chart, looking at each individual setup that we've gone through here, actually, upside is actually very likely. It's very likely in the short term. But I would rather trade this market, given what we're seeing here on just given what we're seeing in stocks, indices, Dixie, Forex, all that sort of stuff. I think trading over a weekday is probably better, because if I need to trade, I need to trade with a green light. And the weekend crypto can do whatever it wants. There is there is no traditional markets. There is no Dixie. There's none of that. But as soon as tomorrow opens up, we'll start to get a vibe, a little taste of what they want to do. And especially when the American market opens in the afternoon for us, we will see a bit clearer what exactly it wants to do. And that will have an impact in crypto. Just like when you're trading an altcoin and you've got to keep your eye on Bitcoin. I've got a great setup on this altcoin. It's amazing. It's going to go straight up to the moon, man. Because that's what the chart suggests. Bitcoin, however, says that I'm actually needing to go down. I'm coming down today. Your altcoin setup likely will fail because there is an outside force hidden behind that chart, being Bitcoin, which can dictate the direction regardless of a setup on your altcoin. Everybody knows that, or if they don't, you should. There is no altcoin can be traded on its own without having a basic understanding of whatever it is that Bitcoin wants to do that day. The same goes for crypto market as a whole. That's going to be influenced by at least the Nasdaq, so tech stocks, which I think is always going to be influenced by the Dixie, which is Forex, and all of that is not open over the weekend, and all of that does point to reversal, and with that might be the mark of the peak, the top, before the consolidation begins in all the markets. So I still think we're on borrowed time here, and until the markets actually open up tomorrow, I don't think I'm going to try to even consider entering into any of these altcoin trades that keep presenting themselves, because they do. Like I say, everything does look very bullish across the board. It does look very bullish, but I can't go crazy and start deploying capital into these setups on a weekend. It just goes against what I think is a much broader picture of consolidation across all markets. I hope that makes sense. The whole idea of trading altcoins is cool. You do need to know what Bitcoin's going to do because it'll void your setup. And the same thing I think is going to happen to the overall market if traditional markets, stocks pull back. It will void any kind of continuation setup. But as of this very moment, it all looks very good, and Bitcoin itself has looked quite good since that 4-hourly golden cross last week. The golden cross and the retest. It's looked quite good ever since then. Standard practice, really. Get a golden cross, retest it, V-shaped recovery, and then some. And that's kind of what we've got. We've not quite got to the previous wick high, but whether we get it or not, to me, is not particularly important. It's all about the strength of the trend, which does look quite strong, does look quite good. But we have to respect the broader markets. Now, if we do pull back in all these markets, we still could be buying the dips for, we'll call them dead cat bounce trades to begin with. I think if Bitcoin pulls back, all the market pulls back, we can then go back to our altcoin setups and say, are you at support? Algorand, did you come back down to your 200 exponential while Bitcoin pulled back? Are we going to get a rejection on this at the same time? If so, this could be a decent dead cat bounce that actually could launch up to these areas that are lost. The bounces in the pullbacks will be an altcoin trade rather than a Bitcoin trade. And if we get a rally, a continuous rally based on the rejection on the dominance chart, then alt season kind of vibes. I think this alt season, if we're going to get it, will be short-lived, and it would also mark the absolute top, and that's not unusual. We normally see that sort of thing. Altcoins are the last thing to rally. They rally hard, and then the rug pull is even harder. You might start to see things creeping up 5% a day, 10% a day, 20% a day, 40% a day, rug pull, crash, smash. That might be it for everybody. So look, we call it a train dodge is what I refer to it as. We always talk about the train dodge on Patreon. We're good. The trend is good. Try and snag some out of that if you want to. Take as much profit as you can out of this trade, because it is like a train dodge. Trains coming towards you. You don't want to get hit. You can stay on the track as long as you feel comfortable, but you've got to get off because the train is coming. And that, I think, is what's happening to not just crypto, Bitcoin, but all markets. The train dodge, baby. Right, I'll leave it with you there. Thanks for watching. I hope you have a nice day. Take it easy.